Hey, what's up, Zwifters? Welcome back to No Breakaways, your source for all the Zwift racing tips and tricks. We're back, ZRL Season 3, week number 2 on the Beach Island Loops. We have 3 laps of it. I personally have never raced this exact course, but I think almost all of us have probably ridden every part of it at one point or another. I hope you had fun on the TTT last week. I hope this video served you well. A little bit of a change to the video format this week, and I would really like your feedback in the comments. I am not going to put the exact times I think each of the groups are going to ride. This season is a little bit different. I'm seeing less participation, but also I'm just not sure if anybody really cares about that feature. So let me know in the comments if you do. If you really want it back, you know, if I get 5 or 10 comments saying you want those times back, that they're really valuable to you, I'll add them back in next week, or I'll even take a guess at them this week in the comments. But I want to make sure that the content I'm delivering to you is really targeted to what is useful in your race. All right, here we go. Here's the course, very flat, very few things to talk about. We will talk a little bit about where we deploy power-ups and kind of the correct way to get some of those sprint points. I will say this is 3 laps, 38.4 kilometers, so it is a bit longer race. You know, I anticipate it taking maybe a little bit under an hour for the A's, up to an hour, a little bit over for the D's. So as a reminder, the intermediate points, exact same as last season. For first across the line, first place gets 10, second 9, and so on. First across the line being defined as whoever crosses the sprint point first on that lap. And the fastest through, first place gets 20, second 15, third 10, fourth 7, and then it goes down from there. Fastest through segment, it doesn't matter what place you go across the line, it's who has the fastest time through that sprint point. So on this course, we are looking at that Watopia Sprint. So there'll be 3 times through. That is not the finish of the course. It's right in the middle. And we'll go through that exactly, kind of how to time that sprint. And I'm actually going to show you a video of a really nice job of one of my teammates that got the fastest through segment. He was an expert on this. And we'll kind of break down, if you want to get that fastest through, how to go about doing that. So on this course, we have 3 power-ups: Aero, Draft Van, Steamroller. As you guys may know, the Aero, that reduces your aero drag by about 25%. The Draft Van is to be used when you're in the draft. It has no effect if you're out leading, but that increases your ability to draft by about 25%. And then the Steamroller reduces the coefficient of friction between your bike and the ground. There's a very specific place I think you should use the steamroller, and we're going to talk about when to use each of these in the course. The Aero and the Draft Fan are going to be for your sprints. The steamroller, I think, is going up one certain section that we will talk about during the course ride. Here we go. This is the start of the course. You can see the pens there on the right. You're going to do the normal thing where you come down the bridge here and you cross the start-finish line at the arch. The first real feature of the course, and again, I kind of hesitate to say it's like a true feature, but it's this uphill at the start. Normally, no one's going to get dropped there. No one pushes it hard enough to do anything on this little uphill coming up, but just something to be focused on. You know, make sure you are a little bit at the front of the pack, especially with the new pack dynamics, with people getting dropped off. It's just so different. I want to be up personally in that top third, making sure that I'm not losing those front wheels up this hill, just to make sure. Again, I don't think anybody will get dropped, but it's always better safe than sorry. So next little part of the course is we go around the volcano. We don't go up that punchy little climb that can sometimes break up the pack, but you do kind of just go around the volcano. I just wanted to let you know that there isn't a real feature here to be worried about, so you don't have to prep for anything. When you get around the volcano, you just come off the other side and you head back out for your loop. All right, so it's time to talk about the steamroller. This is the one point of the course where the steamroller is going to help you. Is on this, I don't know if it's dirt or what it is, but I've seen people, when they use the steamroller here, they're able to get away. You know, I've only done the downhill part, but you can use a lot less energy, get away a little bit. When I say get away, like not like you're going to blast the field apart. But if you use the steamroller up this hill, up these little twisty parts, you might be able to get a little bit of a gap. And if you use it effectively, maybe with your team or maybe with a couple other people, I'm wondering if this may be the one spot in the course right here where you could split up the group. This is really the only spot on the course where I see if you push up this Villas Hill to start to break up the pack. The rest of it is just so flat. Although I do think the sprint, which we're going to talk about next, will break it up just like we saw in Richmond in that last race, or one of the last races of the year last in season 2. So you're going to come off those Italian Villa Hills and pretty much go straight into the Watopia Sprint. And this is a place, I think, especially coming off those hills, where you're going to be able to break up the race. Just like in that Richmond race with the Libby Hill after party, where you saw the sprint actually break up the field. Here's the start of that sprint. If you want the fastest through segment, you're going to have to be flying already. You're going to have your speed built up already right there. Again, if you're not contesting this sprint, you're still going to have to go really, really hard for this to make sure that you stay in the group, that it doesn't get broken up. This is for sure long enough sprint, 20 to 30 seconds, that it's going to break up the group, that it's going to be really hard, especially on the third time through. So here you see the finish. You take that left hand and you finish right up. One thing I do want to talk about, one of my teammates, Jared McLaren, in the Innsbruck race last year, had a textbook perfect fastest through the line segment. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to jump to that. This isn't part of the course, it's Innsbruck, but I want to show you how to do the fastest through segment. Okay, so we are coming into, this is the Innsbruck Sprint again. You're going to see Jared in a La Fuga kit. I will pause it and point him out as he comes rocketing by me. I do contest the sprint. You see me start going a little bit right here. This is actually a little too early and I'm too far ahead in the pack. Jared is behind me right now. So what you're going to see is him come rocketing by here in just a second. And you want to start at the back of the pack, for there comes Jared right there. So you see he started in the back of the pack and was able to fly by everybody. He did the sprint in 15.6 seconds. That beat almost all the A's on this day, and we're in the B category. That's exactly how you want to do the sprint. You want to start at the very back of that pack and fly up through. Jared has a huge sprint, so, I don't expect that many people can do that. You saw that I could not. But it's good to contrast what Jared did, starting way behind me. He wasn't even on my screen during that, with what I did, which I started way too far forward. You saw I didn't move up very much. I needed to catch the draft of the people in front of me as I was going by to help that acceleration. All right, next up, a little feature. This is a place I do anticipate some people making attacks. This little hill, it's not that big a deal, 3-4%. But again, just a place you need to be on your game. After this, you descend down through and you head out to, downtown Watopia. So I am going to point out one more section before we get to downtown right here coming off the bridge. Here's another place if you wanted to use the steamroller, you could. It will kind of be like a draft van in the sense that you don't have to pedal as hard, but I don't think you're not going to be able to make a move on the flats here in this part of the course. So if you want a little break, you can use it, but I'm going to be using it if I get the steamroller on those Italian Villa Hills. Here we are coming out of the underwater portion. This is always a kind of popular place for people to push it. Almost never does anyone get dropped on this. It's just not steep enough and not long enough, especially going this way where it stays paved the whole time. You come out of this and it's still paved. So, yeah, I mean, again, just another thing to be aware of. I think if you make it up the Italian Villas Hill, you make it through the sprint, you're probably savvy enough to not get caught off guard on some of this stuff. So, but just another thing to be aware of. There's just a lot of small little features on this course as we now head into downtown Watopia. All right, here we are coming into the finish. It is a very long, a deceptively long finish. You go under these two bridges. I've seen people say that this second bridge that we're coming up on is the place where you really want to make sure that you've unleashed your sprint by. because you could see the finish banner there. That's probably the point where you really want to target no later than that to be all the way wound up in going for it. You're going to see people going from a lot farther out on this and probably mistiming it. And it's probably something, especially this kind of sprint, it's going to have to be perfect timing because it is such a long lead in. So probably a little bit more patience is going to pay off. But of course, you can't wait too long. So it's always a tough balance there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the course this week. All right, that's it, Zwifters. The course preview for the Beach Island Loops. We have 3 laps, 38K. Going to be really fun out there. Going to be pretty flat. You're going to be able to use your drafting quite a bit on this course. If you liked the video, please click like and subscribe below. And again, let me know what I can do better in the comments. What kind of stuff you want to see, or maybe even what stuff you just don't care about and you want me to shorten up this video a little bit. See you next time.